And then we're going to talk. Oh, bless you! So we wanted to talk about the gas shortage. Virginia is seeing a bit of a gas shortage right now, which isn't very common, but after 2020, I guess anything can happen, huh? So what happened was the pipeline got hacked and it delayed basically the delivery of gas through the pipeline. But they got it fixed pretty quick, and so they don't really expect it to be a long-term shortage, but similar to toilet paper last year, people are going out and they're panic buying it, right? Didn't we talk about that? Do you remember what panic buying is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's when you panic and it's a bad choice step.
Yeah, it's a bad choice. When we panic, do we make good choices or bad choices?
Bad choices.
A lot of times when we panic, we make bad choices. And right now, people are doing that. They're buying gas when they really don't need it. They're just scared that we might run out, and so they're stocking up. Are we buying gas? No. We don't need to buy gas right now. Most of our vehicles are diesel, but the things that we do use gas for, like cutting grass and our chainsaws and that type thing, we're just using the truck uses diesel, so there is still diesel out there, but we just are going to continue as normal. We're going to try not to use the gas that we have, but we're not going to go out and purchase more. Now, people that should be purchasing gas, right, or people that need it, what are some people that might need gas right now? Can you think of anyone that might need gas?
Maybe Grandma?
Maybe Grandma. Grandma does a lot with the food pantry, so it is kind of important for her to be able to go back and forth so that she can do her volunteer work out there. How about people that cut grass and that their jobs require them to use a lot of gas?
What about builder?
Yeah. Maybe builders that need to get to and from job sites.
Like Uncle Josh, he needs to go to work.
Yeah, Uncle Josh needs gas to go to work. There's a lot of people that do. You're right, Granddaddy does. There's lots of people that need it for gas, but it's important that we don't stockpile it. Because when we stockpile something, it means people that really need it, what happens? Can they get it or not? No, they can't get it. And that's pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah. We saw more stuff like this last year, didn't we? Like the grocery stores when they had shortages of stuff. Thankfully, it doesn't affect us quite as much with homesteading, but 2020 was pretty long and it has affected a lot of things like purchasing anything from supplies like our wood and, goodness, our feed. Some stuff it was hard to get in at one point during the year. Even our feed storage containers, we ordered some of those and they're supposed to come in and they think about 6 months because they're so far behind with deliveries. So there's a lot of backup, but we can make do in the meantime and are just fine. If you do need gas, I absolutely no shame in getting what you need, but if you don't really need it, I would really recommend just trying not to use any more than you have to use. They said that if people weren't panic buying, that we would be out of this mess by the weekend. But some of the pictures we've seen going around, people were getting those big water tanks, like the 250-gallon ones. Like we've got one in our field back over there. I don't know if y'all girls can see it, but
I can.
It's a really big white tote, basically. It's a big tank inside of a metal tote. And they had people filling those up in those big round blue barrels. They're like 50-gallon barrels. People were putting gas in those. Some people might not know, but it's actually illegal to put gas in containers that are not marked for it. So just be aware of that. If you're going out and trying to fill random containers up, it's not a good idea. But hopefully more people will realize that we don't need as much as we're buying right now. And if we slow down, we can get through it a lot quicker, can't we?
Yeah.
If we share and we're more conscious of what other people need and we're not greedy, that would help everybody out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, I think so too. So it's a kind of a dangerous time to be out there driving. If you're driving around gas stations, definitely slow down and be cautious.
Because there's a lot of people to go to gas stations.
Yep. They have some people are driving around looking at different places they can get gas because they don't know. And some of them are just burning up gas, trying to see where they can get more gas. Isn't that kind of silly? That doesn't really make sense.
Where does the gas come from?
So most of our gas comes from, well, it goes, I think the pipeline goes from somewhere down in Texas all the way up somewhere, I don't know if it's Canada or where exactly. That's a good question. I'd have to look that up. All right. So we've gotten to a really exciting point in our YouTube channel. I actually have a lot of followers that don't even know who I am. So for those that don't know, my name is Susan. My husband's Jonathan. We've got 4 kids, Elizabeth, Jennifer, Lance, and Peter. My husband works for a utility company in our state. I am a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool, and we're setting up our forever homestead. We just moved here 2 years ago. It was my grandmother's property. We heard she was moving and the timing just worked out. We're actually needing to move back to our hometown because my son had some health issues and I needed to be a little bit closer to my mom to help out with the kids. Heaven forbid we ever had to go back to the hospital. So really excited to be here. Absolutely love this place and I'm looking forward to setting it up. It's a lot to do though. It hadn't been when we moved here, it didn't have any fencing. It hadn't had animals on it for a couple years, and it has a lot of brush and overgrowth that we need to tend to. So we're going to be working on all of that, and just thought we'd bring y'all along for the journey, just to share it, and as well to kind of document for our own purposes. It's kind of nice to be able to look back and see how far you've come from where you began. And well, seeing as this is our biggest project, I know it's going to take us longer than anything else. Typically, all the other houses we've had, this is our 4th. We flipped them in 2 years and mostly moved with jobs and that type thing, but we've slowly worked our way up to this, so it's a really exciting point for us, but is also a big thing to take on. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the last house was gonna be our last remodel, so now taking on another one is like, ooh, you know, I had it done, and now I'm having to start over. But I'm really excited about this house. It's gonna offer me a much bigger kitchen than any of my other houses had, and if we were to have built, I would not have built this big of a kitchen, to be honest. So I am really looking forward to that. But we've got a lot of things to set up. We've got greenhouses to do, the orchard to set up, all of the fields of fencing and coops and pens and you name it. Pretty much everything with the farm needs to be set up. We were very blessed that this farm does have a lot of buildings on it already, so thankfully I won't really need to build anything that big. We do need to remodel some of them, but that's doable. So I'd started the channel more or less though to document the canning recipes, the skills we've learned, just some of our gluten-free stuff, those type things, and share with anyone that was interested in using them. To be honest, I really just wanted to pass them down to my grandkids and great-grandkids and have it on file for them. When we started this homesteading journey, we are actually surrounded by family land. I found out not long ago that my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather had owned this property previously, so that was kind of exciting to know. We're from Central Virginia in the Appalachian Blue Ridge Mountains. Our family was actually pushed down off the drive. About 4 of our families were pushed down off the drive. So this is we're very, very close to the drive here. But it's a similar lifestyle to what all of them grew up on, and we're kind of just getting back to our roots with that. And while it's exciting, there was a lot of information that was lost in the generations between us, so we're just kind of recovering that and trying to get back to it. I know we've talked a lot with our family of the processes of how to can things, of things they did on the farm, anything from butchering to specifically pigs. Hogs were a big deal for a couple sides of my family for butchering, and it was done a lot different years and years and years ago. Families would get together and do it. Neighborhoods, I say neighborhoods, anyone off your road would come help you out with it, and it's just really changed. You don't get that much now. But with that has come that it's a whole different game for processing it, and we're learning that, and would just like it to be more accessible to other people. Anything from the information we've had to find out about dairy cows the hard way, to butchering pigs, to just farming in general. If you can learn from our experiences and don't have to go through some of the pain and heartache and frustration that we've had to go through, then that would make me more than happy, just knowing that it's made a little bit easier for someone else. But we really love this lifestyle. It's a slower pace of life, and we wouldn't have it any other way. I would spend a day in my garden any day over going to the city or going out to town for something. We just love it. The peace and quiet here is just unparalleled. We don't even get lights from neighbors, really. Very, very rarely does someone have a porch light on back here. More than that, this lifestyle has afforded us a childhood for our kids that we had growing up, and it is such a luxury and just blessing to be able to offer that to them. I feel like a lot of people think that's not an option for themselves, and maybe they just don't know that it is. So we wanted to share that journey. I know for us personally, we cut back a lot to get here. If you have any questions or requests, please feel free to ask them. We're pretty open. I know, like I'd said, this is a much more public platform than what we normally share anything about our lives on, but part of helping other people succeed is sometimes being a little bit more vulnerable yourself, and well, we have nothing to lose, so at this point we're more than happy to share anything with y'all. I mean, I know it's a hard journey, but I think most people can start it and can join in it, whether you're in a neighborhood or wherever you are. There's a lot of progress that can be made and steps you can take now to prepare yourself for this type of lifestyle. So if you have any requests or questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. We're aiming for about 3 videos a day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is kind of what I'm aiming for, but I'll be honest, our internet service is so terrible out here. We typically just go up to the library to load them up, and it is about a 15-minute drive, and it takes a while to load them. So we're aiming for about 3 a week, preferably Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or message me with them, and I will try to address them. Thanks.
Okay.
So what'd y'all find, girls?
We found little pears.
Lots of little
I
pears.
think this one's gonna get the biggest first.
Maybe. They do look
the
good. We got quite a few started. Last year we had to trim this tree back quite a bit. And here's a peek at the garden. We ended up hitting an auction that was doing a lot of concrete pieces, so not everything's in place, and I don't have any flowers or anything in those, but soon I will be. I'll need to do a garden tour here soon for everyone, because everything is really starting to come up and grow. We've finished putting fences in around the road, and now we're gonna do some up here around the house. So we're taking out our temporary T-post fence, and we're gonna be putting in some wooden fence post. If you're new to a property, a great way to determine where you want your fences, especially if you're going to opt for paying extra for wood fences and more permanent fencing, is to put up a temporary fence first. It kind of gives you a better idea of exactly where you want it and if it's in the right spot. We put our T-post a little too close to the driveway, so we're going to do our wood post a little bit farther in the field, but we've had to move it out a little ways so we can bring the post driver in and get those situated. But eventually we'll have a greenhouse over here by the edge of that building right around here. So we're gonna move the fencing over this way a little bit. That way we can reach it.